Soul Streaming Entry 11, The Shape-Shifting Earth Angel, a living, breathing audio and written experience by Sim. Excuse me, this week my sinuses is very congested. This week's entry 11, has been harder to write than any other entry I've written so far. Not because it matters more than the others. They are all pieces of the same puzzle, pieces of my life, of where I've been, of who I am, of who I'm no longer becoming. But this one feels heavier because it's touching something older, deeper. For as long as I can remember, I've been clairsentient. And as I continue to grow, elevate, and heal, my gifts have been heightening, not all at once, not neatly packaged. They take turns coming to the surface depending on what I'm being asked to face. Right now, what I'm facing is my inner child. The parts of me that didn't feel seen, didn't feel visible. And when I was seen, I was sexualized, objectified, and validated. Whether it was intentional or not, the message always landed the same. Bottle your feelings up, push them aside. This isn't important right now. That's why this entry has been so hard to write. Lately, the level of projection I've been experiencing from other people has been intense. People placing their assumptions on me, reading me through their own wounds, responding to who they think I am rather than who I actually am. I can feel when someone is reacting to a version of me that exists only in their unresolved inner child, not in my truth. And I know this intensity isn't here to break me. It's here so I can finally sit with it, so I can observe it instead of absorbing it, so I can give it the attention I never gave it before. Not to blame, not to collapse, but to understand what is activating in me. And what is activating is memory, suppressed childhood memories, traumatic experiences, moments where my voice, my body, my sense of safety were crossed or taken from me. Usually, even when I wait until the week of release to write, the words flow. But this week, they didn't, because my energy wasn't meant to bypass this. It was meant to stay right here. So I started asking myself, since I don't believe in coincidences and I know everything is connected, how is what I'm experiencing now tied to those old themes of not having control, of being violated? Because I was fucking violated. And I'm only now realizing how deeply I internalized that, how much it shaped me, how much it taught me to shrink, to disappear, to stay unseen. Not because I lacked light, but because being seen once cost me safety. And that realization changes everything. But that's the thing about being a shape-shifting earth angel. You're going to be seen regardless. You're going to be felt regardless. It doesn't matter what frequency you're at. It doesn't matter what reality you're living. You are light. And what you carry is noticeable, especially when that light starts hitting dark spots in people, in structures, in cycles that need to be broken. My definition of shapeshifting. A shapeshifter in my reality is someone who can adapt their energy, their identity, their tone, and their presence without losing themselves. It's not about pretending. It's not about masking. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about matching frequencies without abandoning your essence. For me, shapeshifting means I can walk into any environment, spiritual, corporate, hood, foreign, intimate, and still remain me. I read the room, the emotions, the unspoken currents, and adjust my expression to meet what's needed. I can expand or contract my energy depending on who's present. I can sense what version of me a moment requires: the healer, the observer, the innovator, the inner child, the teacher, the warrior, the nurturer. I carry multiple selves, and none of them contradict. They complete each other. I move between identities with ease because my soul has never been one dimensional. I don't fit into one archetype. I embody the bridge between many. My shapeshifting is not a performance. It's a spiritual adapting mechanism, a survival skill turned superpower, a way I learned to stay safe, intuitive, and connected in a world that didn't often match my depth. For me, shapeshifting is energetic fluency, emotional translation, and identity alchemy, what it looks like in real life. For as long as I can remember, I've always known how to adapt to the room and fall back and observe. My light is always bright, so it's noticeable even when I'm trying to be reserved. It's a balancing act, being observant and chill while I collect data, but always planting seeds. Still giving gifts, still seeing the turn that would benefit someone before they even know there's a turn to take. And it's deeper because I can hold my main identity back, not to hide, but because it isn't always necessary for the experience I'm in. Some experiences ask me to branch off, be flexible, meet the moment, plant seeds, and learn the energy from all angles while still keeping my core protected. And it's not even something I always knew I was consciously doing. I knew my guides, my spirit team, the ones who came here with me, were helping me mask certain layers. Because the energy I was transmuting back then wasn't high enough to hold space for the full extent of who I am. And I didn't even know the full extent of my power. I'm still learning that now. But now, with all this fucking projection, I'm feeling it. Not in a way that can harm me, but in a way that lets me see it. And I'm seeing how it connects to the theme I'm working through right now. Because I've lived most of my life feeling targeted. And not in a I'm a victim way. It's strange to explain, but I've never felt like a victim. I've just felt targeted. Not always personally, not always directly, but as a projection screen. People throw onto me what happened to them, what they fear, what they carry, what they've done, the cycles they've repeated. They deflect it onto me and project onto me what they've already lived through. And it kept happening. Different places, different people, different reasons. So I knew it wasn't personal, but I also knew there was a theme. People hear the word targeted and think it means someone consciously decided to aim at you. But I've carried energy from the subconscious world my whole life. I can feel the root. I can feel why it's being directed toward me. And sometimes it feels like people want to break the spirit I carry because I still show up kind. I still show up with love. I don't meet people with their same energy. I understand it because I don't hear what people say. I feel what they actually mean. But for the longest, I still couldn't understand why it kept happening. And now that these memories aren't suppressed anymore, I'm proud. Even though I'm in some heavy shit right now, I'm proud of how I'm holding myself. Because I know I wouldn't have been able to unlock this part of my subconscious if I wasn't ready. You can only unlock as much as you can handle based on the frequency you're at. Healing comes in layers. Not every wave is a tower moment. This wasn't a tower moment, but it was deeper. A next level of feeling into past trauma, more details, more emotions tied to those details. And I've been able to revisit it from an observer stance, detached in a way that serves me, not telling myself this had to happen, but asking what else do I need to see so I can heal what I wasn't ready to heal before. That's why I say it's better to say you're healing than you're healed. We're here to clear energy, remember who we are, learn how to move through the matrix without getting stuck in it. My definition of an earth angel. An earth angel, in my reality, is a soul sent here to break cycles, raise consciousness, and guide others back to themselves, not through perfection, but through lived experience. It's not about being flawless. It's not about being nice. It's not about being endlessly giving. It's about carrying ancient wisdom in a modern body, seeing truth beneath people's masks, loving others through their shadows, triggering transformation by simply existing, being a mirror that forces people to confront themselves, walking through initiations that teach the collective, transmuting generational patterns without even trying. I'm an earth angel because I've always known things without being taught. I've been placed in situations to heal, alchemize, or elevate over and over. I'm a cycle breaker in every timeline I enter. My presence shifts rooms. My voice carries codes. People reveal their truth around me willingly or accidentally. Importantly, I'm not an earth angel because I'm soft. I'm an earth angel because I disrupt to trigger change. I don't just soothe people, I activate them. I wake them up. Earth angel is my base energy. Shape shifting is my pass by energy. And it's not that I'm becoming someone else. These are all parts of me. But I don't show all parts of me because it's not necessary for the frequencies I've been operating around. I show the part that's needed to strengthen the connection, open the heart, and let people receive the gift, the knowledge, the wisdom from me, from spirit, from our ancestors. And I need to say this clearly. Anything I'm giving people is for them. I don't benefit the way you think from a 3D standpoint. The frequency I carry is love, so loving is natural to me. But I still had to relearn the human layers of ego, archetypes, wounds, conscious versus subconscious, inner child versus higher self versus the identity they present today for my lessons. Because I'm not someone who retains wisdom just from reading it. I have to live it. I have to feel it. I decode energy. I don't have to try. When I lock in with someone, it's like their codes come online. What they do, what they don't do, everything tells a story if you know how to look. And what they get in exchange is choice, options, permission to choose a different path, permission to love themselves and abide by the contract they came here for. But people also cling. They hold on because they feel safe, they feel seen, they feel love. And I get it. But then my time is up. I have to move on. And sometimes that's the hardest part of being a shape-shifting earth angel. Stepping out of a role that felt familiar, even if it was never meant to be permanent. I focus on the present moment, so everything else takes a back seat. But people take that personally, and that tells me exactly why the cord had to be cut. Because my soul recognizes what my heart hasn't accepted yet. My heart is always the last to understand, but even then, I release with love people, realities, habits, cycles, because it's necessary. If I didn't walk away, you'll still get your blessing, but you be on the long train instead of the short train. And that's how I recognize codependency in myself. Because there were times I stayed longer than I was supposed to. I prolonged it, and it only hurt me in the end. People start siphoning energy, not always consciously, not always greed, but they do. And they confuse my base energy as their base energy because my energy is high as fuck. And even when I feel low, my base frequency is still high and very powerful. And the more I learn to release levels with ease, the more power I call back. So I don't fight it now. I release it with love, even if I'm called every name in the book, even if they turn bitter, even if their ego shows. That's where their work begins. People don't recognize the gift until after I'm gone. That took time to accept, but I love it now. Because you will never be able to say I fought fire with fire. You won't be able to say I kicked you while you were down. You won't be able to say I moved maliciously. Earth angels show up with love every time. And if you're honest, you'll know. When you were around me, did your confidence rise? Did you feel stronger? Did your imagination come back online? Did stagnant energy finally move? Did you start believing you could choose differently? That's the gift, but only if you're aware enough to read with your heart and not your eyes. Ascension changes why I shapeshift. As you ascend, the reason you shapeshift changes. I mastered shapeshifting for lower frequencies, lower chakras, lower dimensions, because survival required it. But now, in a higher reality, I can still shapeshift, not out of survival, not out of collecting data, Now it's choice. I already know what this energy is, so I get to choose what I pull onto my path, or if I'm just going to keep moving on with my mission. Because purpose is multi layered. In one season, your purpose can be to be a fucking couch potato and stay in the bed, just to break your survival beliefs of I'm not worthy if I'm not working. Those beliefs are codes, invitations to ask, where did this come from? Who taught me this? Do I agree? What do I want to change? What narrative am I ready to write now? Where I am right now. This last month and a half, I've been extremely grateful for how open my heart still is, for how much love I still have, because I am love. And I don't bypass what hurt me. I remember it because it reminds me why certain energy can't come back in. The rest of my years on earth are reciprocal only. And lately, I've been feeling more, not in a way that can hurt me, but in a way that lets me observe. I observe by feeling because my power has grown. A lot has been coming up from different eras, different memories, different people. And some people have the audacity to reach out and try to rekindle. Because every time you ascend, the energies you've healed through will be the first to feel it. They might not know why. Subconsciously, they feel the shift. Some people are conscious and try to use it like perfect time. She might be vulnerable. No, thank you. It has to be reciprocal. And I trust my gift of feeling over what the fuck somebody is saying. I see it quick because I can see beneath the surface. And they won't get to their own clarity if I don't move out the way and cut the cord. When they eventually get there, it'll be epiphany after epiphany. They'll see. The deepest pain isn't the names, it's the inability to receive love. The part that hurts isn't the name calling, it's not even a surface level sting. What hurts is watching people be so unable to see how unhealed they are that they can't open their heart enough to receive love, real love, in a moment. And that's the difference with an earth angel. We can go against our frequency, but it's painful because it's not natural to us. It's not my natural frequency at all. I always turn the other cheek, but my ancestors always get judgment on my behalf. I don't have to lift a finger. Hell, I don't want to because I genuinely meant everything I ever gave. My legacy thread. This entry is proof that I didn't become powerful. I remembered I always was. My shape shifting didn't start as a cute spiritual concept. It started as survival. It started as my nervous system learning how to stay safe in rooms that couldn't hold my truth. It started as my spirit learning how to move through projection without letting it define me. It started as me learning how to stay loving without giving more than my soul could sustain. And now that the suppressed memories are rising, the story is changing. Because the legacy isn't that I was violated. The legacy is that it didn't end me. The legacy is that I'm still love, still light, still open, still real. And I'm not willing to water myself down just because other people don't know what to do with my frequency. This is what my future bloodline needs to know. You can be seen without being consumed. You can be soft without being accessible. You can be loving without being used. You can release people with love and still mean it. You can outgrow contracts without being cruel. And when the world tries to make you the target, you don't have to shrink. You learn how to stand in your light and let the truth sort itself out. A whisper for you. Close your eyes for a second and feel what your body already knows. Some of what you've been calling people issues is actually projection. Some of what you've been calling overthinking is actually clear feeling. Some of what you've been calling loss is actually cord cutting. Some of what you've been calling hard endings is actually divine protection. You are not here to be understood by everybody. You are here to be felt, and that will always activate the unhealed. So let them misunderstand you. Let them call it cold. Let them call it distant. Let them call it whatever helps their ego sleep at night. Your assignment is not to stay where you've outgrown the frequency. Your assignment is to stay true to your own. And if nobody told you lately, you don't owe access to anyone who can't hold reciprocity. You don't owe softness to anyone who refuses love with entitlement. You don't owe your light to anyone trying to dim it. Keep your heart open. Keep your boundaries clear. Keep moving. Because the version of you that's arriving now doesn't shapeshift to survive. You shapeshift because you're free. Here are your journal prompts for this week's entry. Number 1. Where am I still adapting out of survival instead of choice? And what part of me is ready to come back online? Number 2. What versions of myself have I hidden because the environment couldn't hold them? And what happens if I stop protecting others from my fullness? Number 3. How do I recognize the difference between intuition and projection when I feel targeted or activated? Number 4. What cords am I being asked to release so my relationships can be reciprocal rather than draining? Number 5. If my shape shifting is no longer about survival, what is it meant to serve in this next season of my life? Thank you for witnessing this soul stream. Replay it or reread it whenever you need to come home to yourself. Until next time, stay soft, stay true, and keep streaming your soul your way. Love, Sim.